But when Tye Tribbett said the church is whack and said it in front of people who, based upon the conversation, aren't full-time committed members to the institutional church, it shook people up. There were so many people that had strong feelings about it, people that said, yeah, you talking truth. And then some other people, especially some of his gospel artist peers and pastors, that said, man, what you doing? Like, no, that's not true. The church isn't whack. That's going to lead people away from the church. And as you think about it, though, Jemar, haven't we all felt this at one point or another?
Look, who you talking to? I have been sort of ostracized, whether vocally or intentionally or sort of low key, from a lot of churches. My whole denomination. I was under care in the Presbyterian Church in America, PCA, which means you are basically an way to becoming an ordained pastor in this denomination. And I remember very explicitly, I've talked about it before on this show, talking to the head of the credentials committee, who basically said, I took myself out of the process. I was in grad school at the time, and he basically confirmed that because there were a cadre of super ultra fundamentalist conservative pastors who, if I had sat for ordination where they question you in front of the whole, regional body, they had a whole list of gotcha questions to prove I was woke, communist, leftist, liberal, rejected the Westminster Confession, all that stuff. So that's on a denominational level, but also on the church level. I could tell you numerous stories. My last 3 churches where it's been something that has, because of my stance specifically on racial justice, it just hasn't worked out. So, yeah, I felt really frustrated with the church at times.
So can I do the quote? So can we do the quote since we're talking about rally? Jemar Tisby says the church is whack. Is this? Is this? Can we just? Because it sounds like
you said, have we all been there?
No, you didn't say one church. You said 3 churches. You said multiple. You said one. That's how they get you. You said multiple. No, but bro. Like I resonate.
Well, I mean, you were a full-time church guy. So,
bro, I remember when I was 17, and I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but I was 17 and parents were pastors. And I remember I had just received the call to ministry. I just preached my trial sermon, so, this year marks 20 years I've been preaching. So I was just getting ready to preach. That trial sermon, did it. It went very well. And then I remember I was in my mom's office and I saw a letter that basically trashed me by name. So it was a letter of, it was just kind of sitting out. And it was a letter, of like 3-4 page letter. And people were just, talking about how they were tired of hearing my parents, say positive things about me. They were tired of hearing my dad, brag about me positively and things like that. They're like, he's not that special. We're tired of hearing it. And it was anonymously signed by some of the elders of the church. And I remember when I told my parents about it and I brought it to them, I literally said, I hate this church. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I said, I hate the church, not this church. I think I said the church, which kind of gets into kind of a little bit of the tension, right? Which is there's the local body of believers that you go to on a weekly basis, or you're a part of, or you're a member of. And then there's this broader institution of church. And I think a lot of us are struggling with the tension between what we experience locally and what we think universally, what we 100%. Experience personally, and then what we've seen throughout the mass of the region or the city or the country, and even our big
or what we've heard.
Right? Or what we've heard, right? And even our big terms, right? We say the Black church, the American church, the white evangelical church, the Black evangelical church. What does that even mean in context with what we're saying and what we mean and what we're... So when I heard Tye Tribbett say this, it caught me off guard, and I wasn't offended as much as I was like, I feel like he might want to have that one back to actually clarify a little bit more of what he was intending.